This is a real show with real people talking about real issues with a real attorney. Now it's time to lawyer up. Today's show is a show that is so serious to so many people, something that's so dear to so many people's hearts. So many people have watched the news about the Treyvon Martins and so many other people that have been gunned down in Florida for situations that no one seems to understand. The only thing that people used for defense was the stand your ground law. George Zimmerman is getting off and he's not going to prison because of the stand your ground law. So many people have the question, is that something that's in North Carolina? Could that happen to me? Could I be Treyvon Martin? Could my son be Treyvon Martin? Could my daughter be Treyvon Martin? So many people have questions about this stand your ground law. So we decided we need to talk about what North Carolina has. Does North Carolina have a stand your ground law? What are the rules and regulations in North Carolina when it comes to that situation? So we're going to find out about North Carolina's version of the stand your ground law.
Some people call this place a sacred place. Some people call this place the halls of justice. Some people simply call this place a courtroom. But to me, this place is a coliseum. And I am a gladiator. Just like all gladiators, I remember the great men that came before me. When I walk into the Coliseum, I look at my challenge, I look at my opponent, I look at the obstacle that stands before me, and then I say, let's go to work.
Don't walk, walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go.
Ghostly ghouls.
Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Every morning, I prepare my mind and my body to get the results that my clients deserve. It takes hard work and dedication. At the Clemons Law Firm, we are more than willing to put in the hard work. We're more than willing to show our dedication. And we know that bad things really do happen to good people. Let's go to work. Welcome to Lawyer Up. We're here with attorney Tyrell Clemons, and we're talking about one of the most challenging issues of today. Right now, there's been so much going on about the stand your ground law. You look in Florida, we had Treyvon Martin that was killed, George Zimmerman getting off. So many people were asking questions about the stand your ground law. What can you do? What can't you do? There was questions flooding the internet. It was one of the most searched things on TV, the stand your ground law. It was on the news. It was everywhere. So a lot of people asked the question, does North Carolina have a stand your ground law? Does North Carolina have the same thing that Florida has? Can people have the same situation as Treyvon Martin here in North Carolina? So we decided to get an attorney from North Carolina to talk about North Carolina's version of the stand your ground law. How you doing, Attorney McLean?
I'm well. Good to be here.
So, Mr. McLean, before we get into the stand your ground law and all that good stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do, where you're from, and all that good stuff, sir.
Again, I'm attorney Tyrell McLean. I'm an associate here at the Clemons Law Firm, where I practice personal injury and criminal defense.
Okay.
Every day I work hard to protect the constitutional rights of the accused and the legal interests of the injured. I grew up in a little town called Williamston, which is not too far from here.
We know about Williamston. Ain't nothing wrong with little small towns, baby.
Yeah, good things come out of small towns.
There you go, there you go.
And I went to the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, where I majored in English, and I went to the best law school in the state, in the nation, dare I say, North Carolina Central University.
I ain't
School
mad
of
at you,
Law.
boy. You better pub it. You better pub it, boy. You
Eagle
better
pride.
pub it. Eagle pride, that's right. So, now, talk to us a little bit. Now, we know that there's the stand your ground law. That's been talked about so much in the media. It's on CNN, it's on NBC, WNC, it's everywhere. What in the world do we have here in North Carolina? Do we have the stand your ground law? Is it something different here? What is it?
Well, North Carolina does not have a stand your ground law per se, but we do have something that's very similar, and it's called the Castle Doctrine.
Okay, let me make sure. So we don't have what they have in Florida, the wording being called the stand your ground law. So if someone comes up in here and say North Carolina stand your ground law, that is not accurate. We don't have that.
It's not. It is an inaccuracy. We have something that is similar called the Castle Doctrine.
Okay, so what is this Castle Doctrine? It's not the stand your ground law, but what is it?
Well, the Castle Doctrine is a doctrine that's rooted in the belief that a man's house is his castle.
I like
and that castle should be at all times afforded the maximum amount of protection.
I like that. So basically it's saying that your house is your castle.
It is.
All right. So when you say it's afforded the maximum amount of protection, what do you mean? I mean, I can shoot anybody that come on my property. If you come on my property, I can shoot you because it's my house. Is it something like that, or
well,
what does it mean?
Well, essentially, I wouldn't limit it to just that so narrowly.
Okay.
But it pretty much allows you as a lawful homeowner or an occupant to defend your habitation. If someone is coming onto your property or into your house and they're trying to gain unlawful entry with the use of violence or force, you have a legal right to protect your castle.
So help me out. I have a legal right to protect my castle. So say I'm at home one day and a bill collector, he's trying to get in my house. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, student loans. You got to come pay your student loans. And they're trying to get in my house. And I see them in my house. Do I have a right to say, oh, you ain't coming to my house for that bill? Get out of there. Boom. Can I?
You have a right. If that bill collector is on your property trying to gain unlawful entry with force, you have a right to protect your home, your property from anyone, whether it's a bill collector, a robber, an intruder, anybody who's trying to get into your house unlawfully with the use of force. You have a right to defend yourself.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there like a certain degree of force that I can use? I mean, for example, if a bill collector's coming in, let's say it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and the bill collector sees me, and I'm kind of ducking behind the couch because I know he's trying to find a way to get that pink slip in the dough, and I'm ducking, I'm dodging, and he tries to come in my house. Now, am I allowed to just shoot him, or do I have certain rules that I have to follow in order to use force of that nature?
Well, when it comes to force, particularly under the law, the Castle Doctrine allows a lawful occupant to use deadly force. But it has to be reasonable. You have to presume that somebody is going to come in and commit an act of violence against you. Now, under the old law, which was modified a couple of years back by the North Carolina legislature, you at one point did have a duty to what we call retreat. And that simply just means this. You, as an occupant, have to make sure that the person is coming in to commit an act of violence.
Hold on, let me make sure I understand this. So I can be in the bed laying down, sleep. Someone breaks into my house, and I gotta say, hey, are you trying to commit violent act against me? Before that was.
Well, under the old law, you know, I don't know exactly if you had to ask the question so eloquently, but you did have to make sure that at the time that the person was entering into your home, that the person was coming in to commit an act of violence. But recent amendments in the North Carolina legislature to the Castle Doctrine now have enacted new laws that said that you don't have a duty to retreat anymore.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this just about that old law to make sure I understand it, because I heard of crazy cases back in the day, like where drunk people break into somebody's house because they thought it was their house, and you find the person laying in the couch asleep, and you're like, who the world is my house? Back under the old law, you didn't have an authority or a duty, you had a duty to retreat. Were you allowed to shoot that person or do anything? So you walk in your house one night, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you see somebody on the couch sleep, you don't know who it is. Were you allowed under the old law to do anything?
No,
or?
you had to be reasonable under the circumstances. And that simply meant this. If a person, was in your house and at that point posed no threat to you, passed out drunk because they were asleep in the wrong house, you then couldn't go pull out your gun and shoot them and say, okay, I'm going to kill you. But you did have the right to repel an act of violence against you. So if someone was forcibly trying to gain access to your house and they were brandishing a weapon, a gun, or anything that could kill you or cause significant bodily injury, you then did have a right to protect your home with the use of deadly force.
And this was the old law. And when we get right back from these messages, we're going to talk about the new law. So we'll be right back with some more Lawyer Up.
Thomas Lynch, No Exit Productions.
Regina Sanders with Sanders Photography. I've been in photography business for 6 years, and the thing that I like most about being a photographer is shooting those special moments that people have together.
No Exit Production has been in the business for about 15 years. We cover the gamut when it comes to media production. We do everything from freelance for ESPN and Fox Sports to our own documentaries and video productions.
I love doing weddings, family reunions, baby showers, anything that you could possibly imagine that you want to share with someone else. About 3 years ago, I decided to team up with No Exit Production. It brought my business to another dimension. We now can offer video and photography.
When we teamed up with Sanders Photography, it was a perfect fit because we were able to expand our business to photos. You can log on to www.officialnxp.com.
Contact Regina Sanders at 252-717-0486 or Thomas Lynch at 252-714-8249.
Welcome back to Lawyer Up. We're here with attorney Tyrell McLean, and we're talking about North Carolina's version of the Stand Your Ground law, a derivation of it called the Castle Doctrine, something that's similar to the Stand Your Ground law, but not quite the same thing. And you were talking about the law changed. Now, tell me about the change from the old Castle Doctrine to the new Castle Doctrine. What's different and kind of what's the same?
Well, it's kind of like you mentioned earlier. Because of the events that have taken place in Florida and nationally, North Carolina wanted to expand the Castle Doctrine. And the expansion simply has turned into this. Not only do you have the right to use force to protect your home, but you have the rights to protect your car, your motor vehicle, and protect yourself in the workplace.
So somebody can come into my job, and if I think they're trying to get into my job, now I can shoot them from coming into my job?
Yes, you can. In fact, the law even goes as far as to say you have a right to protect yourself at any time that you're in a place where you are lawfully allowed to be.
Oof. So that means, now I know you have the right to protect yourself in general, but I mean, if somebody's coming and breaking my car and I'm in my house, all right, So I'm in my house and I see somebody breaking into my car. Now I have the authority, based upon this new law, to keep them from breaking in my car?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. We'll have to pull case law for that. If you're in your vehicle and somebody's trying to gain access to it unlawfully, you most certainly have the right to protect yourself while you're in the vehicle. Same thing goes for when you're in your house.
Okay. Now, I remember a long time ago, there was always a big fuss about whether or not you shot someone in the back. Did you shoot that person in the back? And I think that was kind of under the old law, because I think it mattered if you had a duty to retreat or something like that. If you were in your home and someone breaks in, if you shoot them in the back, is that going to be an issue under the new law?
Absolutely, it will, because at that point, the use of force will then be considered unreasonable, because the homeowner or the lawful occupant at that point is not under the threat of imminent fear of bodily injury or death.
So you mean to tell me if a person comes into my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know what the world going on, I'm waking up out of my sleep, and I see somebody in my house, they broke through my house, and I shoot them, and I happen to hit them in the back, I now committed a felony?
No, let me clarify what I'm saying. If you find somebody in your house at 3 a.m. and you find that they have broken in forcibly, and you believe that they have committed some type of act of violence to create entry, you then have a right to protect your property. And if you happen to shoot them in the back, you happen to just shoot them in the back. The presumption under the law that if somebody is in your house, they're there to commit a felony, and you will be immune. You will not be subject to prosecution, criminally or civilly, for protecting your property. Now, I want to draw a point of distinction, and that point is simply this. After the person has exited your house, and let's just say you happen to wake up, they were inside, and you look and you see them running down the street, you at that point may not shoot them in the back. You may not use an act of deadly force to kill them, because at that point, the fear of forcible entry has subsided.
So let me make sure I understand. So I can't get my car, start driving, he broke in my house, and start just, he broke in my house, pop, pop, and unload, he broke in my house. So I can't do that.
You may not do that. In fact, if you do, you may need us to represent you.
Better call that phone number. Look, we're going to be right back. We're going to talk a little bit more about self-defense when we get back. We'll be back with more Lawyer Up.
All right, my people, when you first wake up in the morning, you got to get some food for your body. You got to get some
yum, yum, yum.
My mama's going to be making some turkey sausage. And
so good.
Some bacon.
So good.
Some grits, some eggs. And that get your body moving. It gets your body good. But you got to not get just food for your body. You need to get some food for your soul. You need to turn it to 100.1 FM, the new generation of gospel, and get some food
for yourself.
And you need to turn it to ncpraise.com or get on the NC Praise app and get some breakfast for your soul. We had a good one today.
Was just grits.
We had a good one today. Miss Trendset and Trina did it today, y'all. She did it. And we're going to give y'all a replay right here of the breakfast for your soul food. What's up?
In the game of life, we have many challenges. Sometimes our opponent thinks that they have us beat. Check. Sometimes they think they have us exactly where they want us. But then, we make the right strategic move. Checkmate. Despite how bad the situation may appear, hire a law firm that makes the right move.
Thomas Lynch, No Exit Productions.
Regina Sanders with Sanders Photography. I've been in photography business for 6 years. And the thing that I like most about being a photographer is shooting those special moments that people have together.
No Exit Production has been in the business for about 15 years. We cover the gamut when it comes to media production. We do everything from freelance for ESPN and Fox Sports to our own documentaries and video productions.
I love doing weddings, family reunions, baby showers, anything that you could possibly imagine that you want to share with someone else. About 3 years ago, I decided to team up with No Exit Production. It brought my business to another dimension. We now can offer video and photography.
When we teamed up with Sanders Photography, it was a perfect fit because we were able to expand our business to photos. You can log on to www.officialnxp.com.
Contact Regina Sanders at 252-717-0486 or Thomas Lynch at 252-714-8249.
We're back again with Lawyer Up with Mr. Tyrell McLean, and we were talking about the stand your ground law, or the castle doctrine as it's referred to in North Carolina. So look, we talk so much about defending your home and defending your property. What about like just defending yourself? I mean, is there certain things that you can do and you can't do? Say you're at a bar or at a club, or somebody kind of confronts you in an argument. Is there certain things that you can do or can't do in a situation such as that?
Absolutely. If a person has a reasonable belief that they will become subject to imminent bodily harm or death, you have a right to defend yourself in self-defense. But at issue here is that the force that you use to defend yourself must be equal to the amount of force used against you.
So let me ask you, because this is one. So say some guy who I don't know who he is, he get in a fight with me, and I think he can beat my butt. He looks like he's a black belt or something. I don't know. He just looks like he's a bad mamma jamma. Can I then say, I ain't getting in this fight, pull my gun out and shoot him?
Absolutely not.
But I mean, he looks like I think he's gonna tear me up.
Absolutely not. You may not use deadly force unless deadly force is used against you.
Okay. So what if we're in a situation, say we're in a club or at a bar, and he pulls out a knife, and I'm looking around, I'm like, shoot, I ain't got no knife, but I got a gun. And he coming at me with a knife, then can I, at that situation, possibly use a gun? I mean, in that situation?
In this particular situation, yes, because you may respond with a deadly weapon in response to another deadly weapon.
Okay.
So if he has a knife, which we know can cause death, then you can respond with a gun, which also can cause death.
So basically, it's kind of based on what the other person is doing. But say we're fighting, and I'm fighting, I'm going at it, and I'm getting him, boom, boom, I'm digging into him, and I hit him, and I knock him down, and I'm getting him good. Then he pulls out a weapon. Can I then go get another weapon, or?
Absolutely. If a weapon is brandished, if you see a weapon in a fight, you absolutely have a right to defend yourself by pulling out another weapon.
Even if I started the fight?
Well, you can't be the initial aggressor, but at some point there's sort of a back and forth. Once the person who's the initial aggressor retreats, you then can't become the aggressor by going out and getting a weapon and responding with greater force than was initially used against you.
Gotcha. Okay, well, this stand your ground law, castle doctrine, this whole self-defense is a lot, man. But look, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and look, we hope to have you back again.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait.
We'll be back with more Lawyer Up.
Hard work, work, and earn my pay. Hard work, work, put my boots on and lace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little piggies ready to play. The big pig is Pedro. Pedro Piggy. He's the big piggy.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
When someone loses their life, it doesn't matter exactly how. It's a very tragic event. It doesn't matter if it's because of defending your home. It doesn't matter if it's from some other act of violence. It's always a tragic event. But it's good to know your rights. If someone comes into your house, if someone comes into my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to call it what you want. I'm going to stand my ground. But it's good to know that it's legal in North Carolina to do certain things if someone violates your property or your home. It's called the Castle Doctrine in North Carolina, but it's good that we had a very young attorney, but a good knowledgeable attorney, told us a lot of very important information in regards to defending ourselves and defending our home. So make sure if someone does something wrong against you, you know the right way and the wrong way, the legal way and the illegal way to stand your ground in North Carolina. Y'all be safe and tune in next time to Lawyer Up. Tune in right here to this channel to watch Lawyer Up. It's a real show with real people talking to a real attorney. You don't want to miss it. Watch Lawyer Up.
All right, my people, when you first wake up in the morning, you got to get some food for your body. You got to get some
Yum, yum, yum.
My mama's going to be making some turkey sausage. And
So good.
some bacon.
So good.
Some grits. Some eggs. And that get your body moving. It gets your body good. But you got to not get just food for your body. You need to get some food for your soul. You need to turn it to 100.1 FM, the new generation of gospel, and get some food
For yourself.
and you need to turn it to ncpraise.com or get on the NC Praise app and get some breakfast for your soul. We had a good one
It was
today.
just grits.
We had a good one today. Miss Trendset and Trina did it today, y'all. She did it. And we're going to give y'all a replay right here of the Breakfast for Your Soul food. What's up?